Hello everybody and welcome to the Hockenheim ring for the German Grand Prix. Last week we had the European Grand Prix at the Nürburgring, and now we're in Hockenheim. Two amazing tracks, both based in Germany, but last week was the European Grand Prix, just so we can fit two great tracks in. I will quickly get into standings. This track has a lap record, which I'm presuming is race time. A fastest race lap of a 15.7, 1 minute 15.7, and a fastest lap overall, which would be a pole position time of a 1:14.439. Drivers will be aiming to beat that 1:14 minute. Looking into practice, they aren't quite, but the times do drop significantly going into qualifying. So if we quickly jump to the standings, going back quick. We'll have the soft and medium tyre used for the race, so the harder end of the compound, which might make beating that 1:14.4 a little bit more difficult, but we'll have to see as we get into qualifying. Standings at the minute. In the driver standings, Nassim has run away with the championship. He is just over 40 points ahead of Kamishov in second, who's moved from Baguette Racing to Breaking Point Racing, making my good friend Ven very happy to see his team trying to fight at the front. In both senses of Kamishov and of Nassim, both of his teams instead of just the one. At the moment, Breaking Point is quite far down in 8th in the constructors at the minute, but hopefully with Kamishov they'll be able to drag that back up. Looking over to the constructors though, it's still very close with sort of over the limit Bajoui and Baguette Racing. All three teams in the chance of winning the championship, 40 points back to its name from Baguette, and 40 points between Over the Limit and Baguette Racing, but I think that's definitely a closable gap with the speed of the Baguette Racing drivers. I'm not sure if their extremely fast drivers still there as Kamishov moved to Breaking Point, and Ziglio I haven't seen on track for a quick second. So Timo and Nathaniel in the third minute, Bernat and Roma both on matching points in 4th and 5th. Dowski in 6th, 62 points, so he's still very close. Daniel Sol for Europroton, sort of an underlier there, not really noticing him too high up, at least not in the races that I've streamed. Maybe in the races I've missed he has been up there, but 53 points is a very strong Ziglio. He's raced 1 or 2 races to pick up those 20 points that he has, but nothing too insane. That those 40 points are from very high finishing positions though. Jeremy Guth for Rockstar Force Tunisia with the 33 points, and Mulfeitova in 10th with 22 points. Going further down the team, it's Name Racing, 88 points in 4th, Quail Racing in 5th, Europroton 6th, Minty Fresh 7th, Breaking Point 8th, Leadpool Racing 9th, and Force Tunisia in 10th. We will get to the action on track, so I'm sure everyone wants to be watching the cars that are hearing, because I did not bother to turn off the Assess Corsa audio. So over we jump now, and we are watching Daniel Tutu. Look, his teammate Emery's Thinot. 15 minutes of this practice session to go. Kamishov at P1, Timo moving up into P5, and Timo's teammate for Peugeot Racing in P3. Nassim putting himself in 6th, but surely there's a lot more pace in that car. The 26 car here pushing very, very hard. Oh, hi. Hello, how are you? Expecting you here. Ah. Oh, nice. Yeah. Team looking very good for you. Mhm. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Do you think we'll be able to beat the track record with these new cars? I think 14.4 is you think a 14.4 is definitely possible? Yeah. No, it was very nice to speak to you. Ooh. Big spin. Yeah, thank you very much for coming in, and good luck for the race for your two drivers. Oh, nice. Yeah. Cool. No worries. Yeah, have a good race. Goodbye. I'll just keep unmuted so that I can hear him if he comes back. But that was Vedlan Uzanov, the team owner for both Over the Limit and Breaking Point Racing, and the driver for Over the Limit Racing at times. Today's going to be just a race engineer though, as he said. And looking to the top, we can see 2 of the top 5 are his drivers. Hopefully when the third driver comes along, it'll be 3 of the top 5. We'll just have to wait and see. That is too loud. There we are. So, as Daniel Soul crosses the line to 1:33 and go 12th, we'll watch Alexander Rudikov now in P6. See if he can improve the 1:16.8 that he has. I'll leave the times up for this practice session instead of Delta. But yeah, so 10 minutes remaining at the session. We have Kamishov in P1, Victor Bernat P2, Max Romer P3. That's going to be a very close battle. They're fighting both in the championship for P3, I believe. I will just double check that. They're fighting the championship for P4. Equal on points at the minute. So after this race, there will be a defined faster driver out of those 2, and then the Tutui in P4, the 116.2. So Baguette Racing picking up lots of fast drivers. P5 is Nassim Rula, the driver we're watching right now. Ooh, and then Max Romer in P3 getting on the grass stand with a bit of a spin, tapping the wall there. Ooh, as Emery's then not a driver that I do not recognise. Maybe they've raced 1 or 2 races and not quite showing the pace, but with this Baguette Racing car, there's definitely a lot of pace in it. So I believe there'll definitely be a good championship battle with these drivers. Kamishov only on the medium tyres. I'm not sure if we've been on the soft tyre yet. So that 15.1 could be his medium tyre pace. Should be interesting to see, but I think it's just that's a sort of 90% soft run compared to maybe 95 that Thinot is going to. Yeah, by the time we get to qualifying in about just under 9 minutes, once this session ends, there'll be 5 minutes of break between the sessions, and then we'll get to the qualifying show, which will be interesting to see. Everyone pushing at 1,000%, putting the car absolutely on the limit, extracting as much from the tyres as possible, as much from the engine, as much from the aerodynamics, as much from the track. set the fastest lap time around this Hockenheim ring circuit. 34 laps long is the race. Just give you an insight if you want to work out how long you're going to be sat here once the race starts. You'll probably have about 45 minutes longer. Max Romain not quite breaking into the 115s yet, but on the verge, so we'll see if he can jump into that at some point. But at the moment, Kamishov and Finot are running away with the show. 2 tenths between them. Finot being the only driver into the 114s. And we'll have to see. Nassim, I don't believe is pushing this car to 100% quite yet. He's Sven said he was comfortable with the setup, so we'll just have to see how long he waits to go flat out, because this could just be that he hasn't run the soft tyre yet. And I haven't been quite paying attention to the tyres. So it could be that 16.5 is his practice of medium pace, which is presumably his race pace. I have to wait and see. And Andy Armenal now for the Europe Proton team, second on 1:21.8 as his fastest at the minute. They're sat on the front wing of the Europe Proton car into turn 3. Maybe turn 4. Not quite sure the exact numbers. as we look at time now, we have 1:13 of this session left to go. Finot is in P1, Kamishov P2, Bernat P3, Max from P4, and Cadillac P5. Cadillac Crafter in 5. Interesting, that isn't a driver we normally see as far up the grid as he is, but nice to see new faces near the front. Nassim not quite pushing his car still first. I haven't seen him on a medium tyre quite yet, so we'll have to wait and see with that one. As the session comes to an end, Nassim is quickly going to finish his run, as so will a handful of other drivers. Timo will probably end up being the last driver across the line. As we look now to the time sheet, Dmitry Kamishov is disconnected, but was in a P2. Anyway, thin up P2. But as we look to the times, shouldn't alter too much, but thin up P1, Victor Bernat P2, Timo P3, Max Romer P4, Cadillac Craft P5, and Tutui P6. Carrying on going down, P7 is Nassim Rula, P8 is Alexander Rudikov, P9 is Steve Perversa, P10 is Jeremy Guth, P11 is Pietro Lunghi, P12 is Daniel Sol, and P13 is Armenua. We have a 4-minute wait to the next session, so I'm just going to find some tunes to put on instead, because there is not enough to talk about. I had some non-copyright tunes at some point, so I just need to find them. Your life is falling apart, but at least you're a good show. I need to listen to that actually. Doesn't look too bad. Stream beat, so yeah. Is chill step good? Let's find out. What else they got? Let me unmute my Spotify real quick, so you guys can hear the absolute bops going on. Oh, Nassim also left. I'm transitioning to the starting scene screen. Bop. Cool. I'll leave this tune to play for 2 minutes. It's just under the wait time, so this is what I'm going to do from now on, because I can't be asked to cover this. And the qualifying started, so let's get back onto track. Alexander Rudikov, one of the first drivers out on track. He's the first driver out on track, but a big group of drivers out. Daniel Stoll on the medium tyres for qualifying. Interesting choice. Intermittent coughing break, and we are on track. I'm doing the gap, that in the gap between the races as well. That's fun. Kamishov coming around. I always think that's the final corner when it's not. Coming through the final sector cookie now to start his line lap, getting some temperature into those Pirelli tyres. Braking into the first corner, Nassim. That's second corner. What corner is what anymore? I don't know. All the drivers without a representative lap time so far, as qualifying has just started. Do you believe almost every driver is out apart from the two Baguette Racing drivers haven't started laps yet, I don't believe. Kavashov's return to pit lane is not doing his lap now, at least. No, he is. He's going out now instead of during the big pack of traffic, and he's going to wait. Nope, he's back in pit lane. Him and Tatuya. Ooh, Nassim getting on the curb a little bit and getting a little bit sideways. That'll lose him a little bit of time. Yep, he's gonna Go back to pit lane and abort this lap. Whoop. Internet being a little bit funny there. Nassim Max cross the line to 116.1. Nassim cross the line to doesn't cross the line. Nassim doesn't beat his 130.4. Interesting. So I will quickly go through the time, see how it's doing. But that is up at the minute. Nassim is also up at the minute. Oh, this can help me keep it on the times. I'm presuming this is all on compared to the pole lap. Yeah, okay, green. Okay, I got colours now. Nearly back. So Cadillac Craft is slightly up on the pole time in his first sector. Nassim is a large amount up at the minute. So is Jeremy Keith, but not quite as much as Nassim. Do we get a third sector? No, okay. We'll have to see when he crosses the line, but at the minute he is not across the line. Nassim crosses the line and goes pole with a 115.9. 2/10 up. Now to wait, everyone's improving. No one's really beating the pole position time we have at the minute though. Lots of drivers are on outlap, Capital being one. Capital being one we need to pay attention to a good amount. And look at where he is on track now. Well, he is about 4 corners away from starting. It's like Daniel Solis off the track just before the hairpin. As he crosses the line, and that wasn't an out lap, that was a flying lap. He sets at 115.1. Puts himself provisional pole with 15 minutes of the session to go. The grip will be improving throughout this session, so we'll have to see. Kamishov is 4/10 up on his pole time already, which means he's definitely pushing very close to that 114.4 we're hoping these cars will be. Kamishov comes around the final corner now, crosses the line, and he sets a 114.9, completely gapping the competition. Times at the minute, almost a second between Kamishov and P2, and a full second between Kamishov and P3. Insane the pace of some of these drivers. We'll have to see how it turns out at the end of the session, because at the minute lots of fast drivers haven't set lap times, or at least not representative lap times, and some of these faster drivers who are doing that time may not be setting them at full pace. They might be keeping a little bit in the tank just so that they don't spear off the track if there is even a small mistake made, because at full pace, braking as far as you can into as late as you can before the corner, that could spear you off into the track. Even a small lock-up could cause a small mistake, as Daniel Soul takes 4th position. you do look to the gaps, you can see top 3 within a second, and there's no more. Just over 1 second away. Still that 14.9 set by Kamishov seems to be a difficult number for drivers to meet. Ooh, Daniel Sol makes a small. I'd say Sebastian Vettel-esque mistake there, and putting himself in the wall, but the car bouncing a little bit more than Sebastian's did. As we look to the timing board quickly, you can see that Timo is about half a second off of the pole time right now. Nassim 7/10, Thinot not far behind, also 7/10, about 0.02 of a second away, and then you've got 1 second gap to Cadillac, 1.1 seconds to Daniel Sol. And nearly 1.2 to Max Romer. As we watch Thinot, who's just come around the final 2 corners now. We'll watch their times. They are improving, not sure by how much, but they are improving that time. As they cross the line, set a 1:15.707. Which is not quite enough to gain a position. Ooh, Victor Bernat going second there with a 15.4. Timo second, 15.5. Look, Kamishov, who at the minute is beating his pole position time. In the minute, there he is. He's a little bit off now, but we'll have to see what you can find through this. In fact, he's lost too much now. He's returning to pit lane. Looking at gaps, Kamishov is unstoppable with a huge half a second gap to P2. But everywhere from about P2 down to about P8, P9 is covered by the same gap as there is from first to second. Which is a little crazy to think about it. Oh, that's a car spinning in the background. We have 7 minutes of the session left to go. This is Kamishov, Bernat, Timo Nathaniel, and Max Romer. Max Romer. No, it's Nassim Rula. Max Romer is down in P9. My mistake. Cadillac Craft in P5. Henry's Thinot in P6, and then we're still in P7. Kamyshev, I'm not sure when he did that, but he's extended his lead even further with a 1:14.829, 6/10 ahead of the rest of the field. Sol struggling with traction there a little bit through that final corner. Not quite been able to get the power down. Now he will be either stopping on to a flyer, and we'll see some blistering lap times from him. Cadillac Crafter on pole position pace, but he stops on track. Clearly he's not quite fast enough or something. Most drivers on out laps or possibly flying laps. Now Timo come around to start his lap now. Oh, I've got a lovely headache. Oh. Nassim on pole position pace at the minute. He's coming down the back straight. The one of, I'd guess, two back straights, because I can see a second. But I'm watching his second times, firstly, see if it changes. Yeah, there it is. So about halfway down that second straight, and he's a little bit off. He's not quite. I've explained that. 17 off. If we go to gaps, you can see Kamyshev still has an impressive lead to the field. Really uncomfortable. My neck is not doing me any good. But the show must go on with 5 seconds of replay remaining. Lots of drivers are either trying to get the lap started or finished. Kamyshev improving even further to a 1:14.7. Ooh, and Cadillac Crafter putting it in the wall there. But Nat was able to improve to keep himself within 6/10 of P1. But Kamyshev with a 14.777 put himself in pole position for today's race. Well, Max Romaire puts himself second. Also within 6/10 of the leader. Alright, music time. Music time over. We got 20 seconds until this race starts. And we are going to be looking from P4, P5. The lights are on, waiting for those 2 safety cars at the back to disappear. The lights will start. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, 6 lights. And away we go. Kamishov gets a good start. I can't quite see if there's any drivers on his inside. Nope, he's got a good start. P1, 2. Very good. Victor Burnett in P2. He's flown away from everyone. Max Romer. Timo's fallen very far down. Thinot is in P3. Max Romer P4. 2 seconds to the front already. To 2 is overtaking Cadillac Crafter P6, and Cadillac Crafter is being swamped now after presumably a bad start out of turn 1, or just maybe high arrow limiting his top speed. Cadillac Crafter looking to the inside to maybe get a better exit and overtake a few drivers to this fast right-hander. And then still not quite got it, is he? Ooh, a little bit of pushing and barging there, but everything seems fine. So now going into the stadium section, I'm going to call it, even though it isn't. There's a big hairpin. We look on the back of Jeremy Guth. Big fight for P7 here. Maybe we're not to P6, not quite. Definitely a big fight for P7. And Cadillac Croft has gotten away a little bit. You could call it a fight for P6, but Cadillac's pulling away a little bit. Anyway, the front 2 have definitely built a big gap. 1 second between P1 and P2, and an extra 3 between P2 and P3. Nicholas Zahn is in P12, 12 seconds off the driver in P1. If we look at intervals now between drivers, Jeremy Guth and Armeno are side by side now, going into Mercedes Benz. Push now. Ooh, a little bit wide there from Guth, but everything is fine, still on track. Dmitry Kamishov with fast lap the race of a 1:15.6. Every driver setting their personal fastest lap of the race. As we wait to see now. Have we got any lap drivers yet? Because that looks like we might do. If we go to positions quick, Armeno for Europroton is 8 positions up from his original starting. 7 positions now, and Daniel Tutui, I'm not sure his first name. Tutui, is it? I'm checking now. Danny Tutui is up 5. Oh, there's a tap there, and he's been sent flying. Is he still going? He's good. There's a little bit of a tap there between a handful of drivers. Everything seems fine though. Tutui continued going. We look to stops now. The 2 drivers at the rear of the field have already made a stop. Presumably for damage. Cadillac Crafter now. 14 seconds off the lead. Pietro Lunghi. Yeah, those 2 rear drivers are almost a lap down. You can see them right next to the front runners. Cadillac Crafter getting past Danny to 2. Holding the position reasonably well. I've done Soul in P10. Pietrolunghi in the pit lane again. I wonder what's forced him to pits this time, but guess we won't know for a bit. Presumably it's damage, but Timo off, and into the wall. That'll be front wing damage now, and the rear tire is going to be very hot from this putting the clutch in and revving up. But Max Romer is 11 seconds off the front two. Timo is having a dreadful race. He didn't have that good of a start. He was quite low down from that, and now he is 13 seconds off of P11. So 6 laps in, not the best race so far, but we'll just have to see how that goes. Let me actually check, is anyone saying anything in the stream chat? Then handful of people, not too many though. Hello. YouTube chat, I'm watching it now. I haven't been for the past hour of streaming. Emery's Thinot in P4, hunting down Max Romer, trying to get that P3 off him. Meno off there. That's not good. P11. Much to say. Daniel Soul is looking very close to Jimmy Guth. Let's see if that battle unfolds anyway. The Crafter looking very close to Max Romer. Oh, Thinot is backed away a little bit. Daniel Sol looking at a move on Jeremy Guthrie, but not quite making it. Keeping up with everything going on in mode, as well as the F1. I said to also F1. Dmitry Kamishov setting yet another fastest lap. Eight seconds between the two front drivers of Kamishov and Victor Burnett. 16 seconds between Burnett and Max Romer. But Max Romer in pit lane now, and so Thinot is making the move and is now going to try and push as hard as he can to keep the position. As there were millisecond between them at the time. Oh, Jeremy Guth have a little donut into pit lane there, probably an impromptu donut, but he kept it going forward, and that's all that matters. Burnett is stopping, and Kamishov is coming out of pit lane now and getting passed by the lap drive for we were in 14th. Gaps have opened up a bit now as pit stops have begun to happen. I'm not paying attention to it really, because I have other things to pay attention to that aren't the racing. But watching the racing, Oh, who's that going wide there? Jeremy Guth or Stephen Converser? Yeah. Gaps have closed up a bit for a battle for P10 opening up. Daniel Soul and Jeremy Guth now fighting for P10, P9. And Cadillac Crafter and Max Romer are probably not too far off the battle for P6. Gaps near the front have opened up a bit now. Burnett is just over a second off of the podium positions. Yeah, P10, 10's just Rexton. Everything's opened up. There's not really much to watch, so I might just leave you to listen to the lovely sounds of the V10, I believe. Oh, that's the driver. Spun around Pietro Lunghi. In P15, I might just leave you to listen to the V12s for a little bit, a lap or so. As long as nothing happened, go 17 without me saying much. I'm back. Rudakov is going very close to Max Romero in P6. Maybe looking for an overtake at some point. But Timo not having the greatest race, being in a P14 minute when he's a driver. Championship wise, is looking a lot higher up the table. Kamishov having a very strong race though, 24 seconds away from the next driver, let alone anyone outside the podium. I wonder what the first lap in a minute is. A 15.5 from Dmitry Kamishov. Uh, 19 laps, top 5. Everyone's on the lead lap, I believe. No. Who's lapped? Set Corsa, tell me. Not like that. Progress. Nicholas Zahn is now the most improved driver, going up 7 positions from P14. So 2 is just pit. Auto gaps. Okay. So, top 10 all just about the lead lap. Where's Rudakov compared to the leader? DK, Rudakov. Oh, he is literally there. No, it won't be longer than top 9 will be. And then knowing Kamishov's pace, we'll probably finish the race with top 7 being on the up. We have an amount of time before the end of the race, about 12 to 13 laps. Laps for the race to go. I want to try to get myself a race seat, but like also really important school stuff coming up, so I can't really commit to it. But yeah, I need to find myself a couple of race seats. The driving is fun, but without sort of a championship to pay attention to, it's not as easy. Having a championship where I know sort of where I should be each race and aiming for certain positions. So just being like, I have no idea how fast these drivers are. Let's just push 100% and get last, and then the next race get first. Be good. Okay, P8 is on the verge of being a lap down. P8 is a lap down. Computer isn't quite sure though. Computer isn't sure, I'm pretty sure though. Kamishov is in for his second pit stop, and I don't know, we'll have to see how many drivers can get unlapped. I'm knackered though. 10 laps of the race to go, just over 11 laps of the race to go. Victor Burnett out the pit lane after his second stop, I believe. We're in the final stint of this race. Let's check who could be pitting. Diniot is yet to stop a second time. Tatui is yet to stop a second time. Zahn in the top 5 all drivers that are yet to stop a second time. Daniel Searle is also only on one stop, and that's under Ruud Kool. Piretto Alungi. A driver that stopped 3 times and it's in the pit lane now. It's been in for a while, presumably he was. This race I haven't been paying attention to how long he's been pit lane. Been near a while though, so I don't think he's in the race. Oh, there's Armeno off. Just look at the gap. Max Romeo is looking very close to Nicholas Zahn in P5. This little battle going on there. Kind of Crafter also looks pretty close to this battle. We've got just under 10 laps of the race to go. Drivers are looking as on pits for the second time. We'll have to see how this race changes as the laps count down. So we have a small amount of time left now. Just under 10 laps. Now we're about 9 or 8. Eight laps of the race to go. We have our running order at the minute being Dmitry Kamishov at P1, Thinot P2, Victor Bennett P3, Tucci P4, Max Romer P5, Captain Craft P6, P7, Nicholas Zahn P8, Rinkus P9, and the final points paying position goes to Daniel Soul on P10 for now. There's still 7 laps of the race to go though, and anything could happen. Daniel Soul setting his fastest lap of the race of a 1:17.1. Our fastest lap of the race at the minute is a 1:15.5. Dmitry Kamishov has had some incredible pace for the for the entirety of this race, and has built a very healthy lead of about 34 seconds to the driver behind, and Victor Bernat is P2 now because Thiniot's pit lane. Oh, there's Jamie Guth in the wall there. Soul takes that place, but I think as long as they don't have any DNFs in the top 10, this should be pretty safe points for all these drivers. Bernat is definitely going to overtake Max Romer though in the drivers' championship at the moment, and for Bijawi Racing, Baguette Racing are going to be closing that gap on them, and Over the Limit will not be scoring points again. What happened to Nassim? Did he leave? When did he leave? I didn't notice. Was he at the start? Not sure he was at the start. Double check that quick. I'm gonna look for Van quick to see. There we are. My man, my eyes, my ears. How will I find out now whilst eating my chips? Nassim did take the start. I just didn't notice him in here. Got taken out very early. That might be why he's not come up on the timing shoots, but he's not DNF'd on the timing shoots, so. Which server? Where is he? Where is Vinland? Three laps of the race to go. Kamishov looks like he can take a very dominant lead unless there is unless there's anything that stops him from winning this race, like suspension damage and such. That's goof off at the hairpin. Laps of the race to go. Almost on the penultimate lap now. Oh, that is Andy Armeno off there, losing 10th position to Timo, so Bajali will be getting a double points finish. Nice little look. That wasn't moved out, I thought it was moved for a second. To the outside for the hairpin, we'll even look to the outside of can he take the apex? Yep, he's gone a little bit wide, and what was that? Zahn does hold the place, but I think with a little bit of contact it might have been there. We are on the penultimate lap now. Ooh, final lap now. Missed it. With one more lap to go, we will quickly jump on board with our leader. Dmitry Kamishov. That's the camera I'm after, there we are. After a very dominant lead. He is going to savor every last moment as he crosses the line in a few moments' time. Dmitry Kamishov crosses the line and he wins the German Grand Prix. After 34 laps of intense racing, he crosses the line. It wasn't intense racing for him really here. Got a very good start. He's had great pace throughout the race and crosses the line to take a very deserved win. Bernat taking P2, again very deserving. He is also had amazing pace compared to the rest of the field. And the P3 that he's definitely worked hard, P2 we definitely worked hard for. Crossing the line to take P2. Emery's Thinot crossing the line to take P3. The final podium position, P4, will be going to his teammate Danny Tutui. And Max Romeo will be taking P5. And Kazakh Cross across the line to take P6. That is almost every driver. Just Denis now. There we are. And that is the end of the race. I don't believe we're going to be able to do driver interviews today, just because both Kamishov and Bernat do not do interviews, I've learned. I think I'll just finish there. And I believe that's all I'm going to be doing for this stream. I'm not going to ask for interviews, I'm just going to see what happens. Great race for these drivers. Congratulations to the top 3 on the win. And I'm just going to go and finish stream there. Thank you all very much for watching. And I'll see you next